everyone. Today I want to talk about receiving advice from other people because it's important, especially for moms. Like, we get a lot of advice that we ask for, and then we also get advice that we don't ask for. So it's really important to really pick apart and be careful about who we receive the advice from and whether we listen to it or not. So I was inspired to make this video because I, as a mom, I've received so much advice regarding education, even though I'm a teacher, raising my children, everything. And the one thing I've learned through raising my own kids and then teaching kids in the classroom, outside of the classroom, is that there isn't a one size fits all model. And even if the advice that you're receiving comes from the heart, it might not be the best advice for you. So let me explain. So every child is different. So with my first baby, I thought before my second one came along, I knew exactly what to do. I know how to feed her, when to feed the next one coming, because I've already done it. And I have all this experience through my first one, so now I know exactly what to do with my second one. So if I were to give myself advice before I had my second one, I would have just went through everything based off of my knowledge from my first child. But then my second child was born and she broke the mold because she's a different person. Even straight out of the womb, she's a different person. She does things differently. She does things in her own time. And all that advice I gave myself was all wrong. And it was a bit jarring for me because I thought I knew what I was doing, but my second was just so different. So I say all that because a lot of us, when we give advice to other people, we are giving advice based off of our own experiences and observations, right? So when I give advice to another parent, it's based off of my experiences and observations. And granted, as an educator, I have a lot of experiences and observations because it's not only my kids that I'm thinking about, it's also all the other kids. But when you receive advice from family members and people in your community, they are operating from whatever their experience is. So even though it's coming from their heart, it might not be the best advice for you because your child is very unique, and then you are very unique, and how you interact with you and your child is a very unique situation that nobody will ever understand except you two. So it's important that while these strategies and advice is coming in from all fronts, you have to take it with a grain of salt. Like, okay, well, I know that this isn't for me because of XYZ, because of my beliefs. And I know that this isn't for me because of XYZ. But then if you receive some advice from somebody and you're like, oh, that might work, I would suggest try it. And go into anything that you try with the mindset of, we are just going to try this out. And if it doesn't work, that's okay. Because I know that my child is very unique. There's only one of them like this on the planet. So I just want to make sure that parents, myself included, because sometimes I forget this, because sometimes when we're in the trenches of like this kid, we forget what we already know. But a lot of us will ask for advice online, and I see it all the time, and I think that's a great way to build a community and talk to other people and see what other people are doing, but also at the same time be careful and don't view yourself as a failure because it might have worked for somebody else and it's not working for you. Remember that your situation is very unique to you and your child is different. So I just want to hop on here and say that because even for myself, I have to remember, it's like, okay, the advice that I'm receiving from a family member, it's based off of them, their beliefs, and their perspective and experiences, and that might not necessarily be my beliefs. So I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments, what do you do when you receive advice that's not so helpful, or advice you never even asked for? What do you do with it? So let me know in the comments below, and I will see you tomorrow.